morning. How's everybody doing today? I want to first off say my name's Dre Tastic. This is more like my introduction video, you could say. Today is April 25th, 2022. We made it to the 22, man. Right when you start to think it's like robots and flying cars and stuff. It's really robots and stuff. I really have seen. I seen this one thing. I was at a restaurant and it was like a robot with plates and stuff going to the front. It threw me off. It tripped me out. And I always said we gonna have flying cars and stuff for sure, because if you think about it, airplanes, helicopters, all that stuff, you tell me you can't put the engine, sit on the car, like, come on. I always said that. But yeah, just to go over about, so what I got so far on YouTube, first I had made my profile like a long time ago, just like make a profile, just randomly, no real reason, just had a YouTube profile. Then I decided I wanted to drop my high school video, football, everything related to me was about football. I wanted to drop my high school, but I ended up going through somebody else, so it's on some network. Then in college, my JUCO at Delta, I believe it was put on Huddle. We were big on Huddle at this time, so I didn't get to put it on YouTube. And I loved that video. That was probably my best video. Was my career at Delta video, and that got me some good notice. Got noticed pretty good with that. But I guess I didn't get that on my page. I wish I did. I wonder, could I screenshot it and post it? No, I wouldn't do that. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. Leave Huddle, get their rights. So, yeah, so that was that. And then as far as me, yeah, we not gonna copy the Huddle. We need to go let that stay there where they at. But yeah, so I dropped my first video, which was me at William Penn University playing football. My senior year college highlight tape. Man, a lot to go over with that. But yeah, I was able to get that video in there, get a few views, get a few looks and things like that, trying to go pro. I was able to get an all-star, a few different all-star invites, but I ended up choosing one to go to the East Coast, because I've never been to the East Coast before, to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Yeah, went there, played linebacker. Good setting, perfect view. I gotta go back there. Definitely gotta go back there. It was a beautiful place, off on the beach. Very nice. I had some family from the East Coast that was able to come and go see me play, and got to spend some time with them. I also had a cousin that was a few hours away in the Navy. I didn't get to link up with, but I wish I did. But yeah, so I enjoyed that experience, that time there. Yeah, so that was that. As far as after there, I was able to come back to William Penn and finish out my degree. My last semester, I almost didn't finish because I almost chose to go play overseas ball. I had got my one and only professional football offer to go play in Spain, and I needed to make a big decision. Should I go play football in Spain or stay and finish my degree and just come back later and do it, which, a lot of people do. You see people all the time, but I felt like it was more important for me to get my degree and finish the mission at the time. Especially because growing up, you always believe, like, oh, I want to go to NFL, I want to go play pro ball, you know what I mean? Like, that was just like our whole thing growing up. And then it was never about the school. I never cared about school because I knew I played on the field with NFL players. I played on the field with D3 players, NAIA players, D2, D1, whatever. I didn't play on the field with everybody, and I didn't ball it out against everybody. So it was never no competition that I couldn't face or that I couldn't handle. The dynamics that I brought to the game was fierce. I like to play fast, play aggressive. That was my whole thing, especially being an undersized linebacker. I usually range from about 205 to 215 at the max. I'm actually, at this current time, now that I'm not playing no more, I'm like pretty much almost 230. I say 228 right now. I've been working out heavily. But yeah, I wish I'd have played that this way. I'd have been in the league for sure. Or if I just had 2 more inches, but if I was 6'2" and 6'3", I for sure would have been in the league. But I would have took a little bit more serious. And there's a lot of things to go over too about what I wanted to do and what I didn't do, which I should have did. And I mean, that's another thing for this introduction video. But yeah, so let me get back to what I was saying. I was able to drop that video. It's on my page now. And then I made another video years later. What was that? About 2 years ago, a year to 2 years ago. I had dropped a music video with my cousin, Seuss. You know, he's a rapper that I support. You know, I was there from the start of it. You know, he's starting to gain a lot of more notoriety, and I'm just proud of him. So yeah, I wanted to do a music video with him. We kind of was just having fun. I was just like, hey, you know, like I want to make a slapper with you, you know, as we call it. You know, I'm from, you know, Stockton, you know, slapper, you know what I mean? You trying to make it slap. It's like, yeah, we played it, nice beat and everything. Like, damn, it's a hit. Like, I ended up naming it, oh, it's a hit. And then it's crazy because everybody that hear that song really like it. And it's like hella catchy, you know what I mean? And they like, really like, it's like a slapper and then ain't got no views. I messed the video up and everything. Like, I posted it, but I messed the graphics up on it. So it ain't even like perfect, clear, like, you know what I mean? Like, but I just did it just to do it. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm taking the rap serious or I'm a rapper or anything like that. No, I just wanted to do it. You know, so moving forward to this year, now I'm doing, I had pretty much, I got a few things going on. So last year in December of 2021, I was able to start my own business selling cars, you know, Tastic auto sales. I kind of put that to the side. A lot of people, you know, wondering, but it's some stuff that got to get done with that. Everything is in order for me to continue that business. I just kind of put it to the side in 2022. My New Year's resolution this year was to find something that I could do to like really, you know what I mean, make a better community, not just for blacks per se, like for anybody that need help, you know what I mean? And I was trying to think what's something I could do that's not really, that's not too expensive, you know what I mean, on people, that's not gonna hurt people's pockets, but it's gonna do a real dent in helping them become to who they need to be, wherever they want to be at in life, per se. So yeah, so I decided to do a credit repair business, and which is something that I've been doing. I've been working on credit since back in last year. As of the beginning of last year, I took my total losses and tolls with the credit side, and you know, learning it and getting better and things like that. I was able to gain about 200 something points. Yeah, so right now I'm in like high 600s, you know, coming close to that 700 mark. Probably like 1 or 2 things away from knocking off to being back in the 700s, which, just to let you know, I was in the 400s for a while. It's a long story that goes into that. But that's why I wanted to get into the credit repair business, because I myself was able to gain my points back just on my method of learning stuff, you know what I mean? And now I'm just, as of today, I just actually taking it to the next level by investing in a certain, you know, thing too, to help me raise credit as well. Now I'm just kind of like, that's just what I wanted to do from here on out, is take the credit on. Obviously, you got to believe in, you know, incomes and things like that. So I do have a job doing security. I was able to get my guard card as of last year, May. So yeah, I do a little security work now. That's what I'm doing right now for my income coming in, until I can get some passive income and stuff flowing, and you know, in that department. So I just got me a job working as a security guard, building credit. You know, I will get back on them selling cars and things like that eventually this year when I get a lot more things settled in. But yeah, so that's pretty much that, where I'm at now. Yeah, so as far as everything, let's run it back now. Pretty much now the introduction that was about my page. Now just pretty much about me. Man, I come from Stockton, California. East Stockton. To be specific, I grew up in Filbert Arms. Went to Fremont, Franklin. Graduated from Chavez. I was bad growing up, bad kid, trying to do this, trying to do that, getting in trouble, fights, probably got in 100 fights, no exaggeration, not exaggerating. I ain't saying I won all my fights, I ain't saying I lost all, I just was a fighter, you know what I mean? I had so much, dealing with so much pain and stuff growing up that I became like a fighter and I didn't know how to express it. Like, I'm talking about, I was in juvie at 11 years old, you know what I mean? Like, not for a day. I'm talking about I was really in juvie at 11 years old. Like, and, you know what I mean? Like, it's all like learning lessons. Like, growing up, I had my, I got taken away from my mom, early on, 2 years old. So then I was able to have to go stay with my grandma, and, she loved me to death, you know what I mean? But she passed away when I was 7 years old. I've been traumatized ever since, I don't let it affect me as much, but I've been traumatized about it a lot. So then also not having my father, he was in prison, till I was about 9-10 years old, he went in when the year I was born, and he didn't get to watch my birth, and things like that, just that, and then, like I said, he tried to come back into my life when he did get out, but I didn't know him at that point. You gotta think, I've been living 10 years at that point. Didn't know him and things like that. You know what I mean? But I don't never fault him. You know what I mean? Like, nothing is ever a mistake, because especially if I break down the story, but I'm not gonna break down the story of what happened and how he ended up in jail and things like that. But he went to jail for some self-defense. Stuff that took place back in the day, and you know what I mean. But like I said, that's that, and I love him too. I love my mom. I love everybody. You know what I mean. Like, I didn't let that hold me back from not being, you know what I mean, getting where I wanted to be in life. You know what I mean. Like, that didn't hold me back, even though it does to a lot of people, because a lot of people don't know how to get over that hump or get through it. You know what I mean. Like, especially me, I was in the system, you know what I mean, my whole life I've been in the system, you could pretty much say. Even though I've been with family, I was blessed to have family that actually was willingly, openly able to be there for me. I still was in the system. I still had social workers. I still had to go here, still have to go there, still have to go to court, still have to do things like that my whole life, I was able to pretty much go through my little time of being bad and stuff like that, but I realized I needed a father figure, because I ended up getting out of juvie, going to go stay with my uncle, who used to be run a group home, but then he turned to a garbage driver. But yeah, so he used to be at a group home, had experience. He was able to get me out and allowed me to go stay with him. So that was a big transition. Prior to that, I lived with my aunt. You know what I mean? She did love me. You know what I mean? She did. She was aggressive. You know what I mean? But I just know that when I was living with her, like, she helped me unlock a lot of my talents that I didn't know that I possessed. You know what I mean? Like, we might have not seen eye to eye, and I feel like, I was being whooped a lot and getting in trouble and things like that, like I said. But then that was because I was fighting the stuff that I was dealing with from the people not being in my life that I wanted to be in my life and things like that. But that had nothing to do with the actual talents that I possessed, because when I was with her, I was actually in a GATE student, which is a student that's like really smart, that has to be in a certain program for their academic success. I used to play chess, you know what I mean? I was very skilled in chess. I used to go to chess tournaments around Stockton and competing in tournaments and things like that. I also used to play the trumpet. I played the trumpet for about 5 years. I don't know, I was amazing trumpet. I feel like I should have went pro in trumpet. That is something I want to think about getting into, if I can get a trumpet now this year, 2022, since I've been kind of conquering a lot of things off my list, and just get back to those things. Give me a chessboard. Just start getting back playing chess and things like that, trying to take things back a little bit more serious. Yeah, so I played the trumpet, and the last thing I did was drama. I always been an actor. I could play, you know what I mean? Like, oh, shit. No, I'm just playing. We ain't gonna get in that. Not today. But yeah, so I was always into drama. I was an actor for a few years growing up. I did a lot of acting in school plays and stuff like that. I used to love being the center of attention, which was good and bad, because I was the center of attention in class too, which made me a class clown, so that's not always the best either. But yeah, so yeah, I was a class clown. If you catch me looking this way, I'm kind of still at work, so I'm doing this video at work, savage mode. Gotta do what you gotta do. Put your future before any job. We're not gonna go there though, but yeah. So yeah, I was an actor for a few years and things like that, and then yeah. So like I said, she unlocked a lot of talents, and I haven't did none of those things since I was like a kid. Besides play chess a few times throughout the last few years. But yeah. So then, like I said, now I'm moving up to when I was with my uncle. He pretty much got me into sports. Growing up, I always loved sports, but I was never like really just shit there. I gotta play sports, or you know what I mean. Like it was always just natural, like going outside, playing catch, going to the park, going to Boys and Girls Club out east, playing basketball, sports, you know what I mean. Always football at the park, social park. It was just always like swimming, things like that. Like I never was like in a competitive spirit, you know what I mean? I just always wanted to have fun and just be with everybody, you know what I mean? Like I'm like a lovable person, family person, things like that. So it was always about that with me. But yeah, so then moving, like I said, so pretty much my uncle got me back into sports, and you know what I mean, into football, and I didn't know that I was actually, you know what I mean, I wasn't the best, because let me say this, played for the East Stockton Yellow Jackets damn near my whole career, except for my first ever year I played for the South Stockton Vikings back in 2003. You know what I mean? My first ever year playing was 2003. It's 2022. You know what I mean? So do the math on how many years I was playing. But yeah, so so I played for the South Stockton Vikings, which I didn't even finish that season. I think I ended up quitting like the last couple of games, mainly because I remember now. One of the last couple of games, I had chipped my tooth. And I already had my permanent teeth in, so a lot of people don't know I had a chipped tooth, and I used to be embarrassed about it, you know what I mean? Now I really don't care. So imagine having a gap, which I had braces, so my gap is smaller than what it used to be, obviously because of the braces in high school. But before that, imagine a big ass gap and having a chipped tooth. People used to think I had a missing tooth, which I didn't, you know what I mean? I just didn't smile a lot, you know what I mean? But I never had no missing tooth, so whoever had that rumor, people should say that. I actually had a couple of friends that tell me, I thought you had a chip. No, I had a chipped tooth and a gap. So yeah, it looked like a missing tooth. But yeah, so let's always clear that up now. That's cleared up. That's that. And, that's mainly for all the people that knew me growing up, that when I had a chipped tooth, like a lot. So yeah, my teenager days, I got back into sports. At the Yellow Jackets, I was never the best. That's what I really want to hit, you know what I mean? In this video is like what football really meant to me. Football really meant everything. It kept me out of trouble, it kept me doing the right thing, it made me learn even more discipline than just physical, like it helped me in other discipline actions, you know what I mean? Like, I love, my coaches, used to, how a coach would yell at you or something and you would get down, that actually pumped me up to go harder, you know what I mean? Like, it brought something out of me, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's how that went with football. It challenged me, it gave me new challenges, you know what I mean? It made me stay focused, determined, hungry, so that's why it took me to where it took me. But yeah, so that was what football did for me. And then, like I said, the older I got, the better I got, because every year I got better and better. Like I said, I was never the best. I was always like, in football, I say like Pop Warner, I was always like on my team, because I always played on good teams. I was always like top 10. I just was never like top 5, you know what I mean? Until like every year I got better. Like I would be 10, then I'd be 8, and now I'm 6, you know what I mean? Now I'm cutting into the top 5, you know? And then, like I said, the older I got, the better I got. So then by the time we got to high school, I was like, you know what I mean, the last best player in my 8th grade year, 9th grade year, you know, I was pretty good, you know. So my sophomore year, JV in Franklin, I had 30 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Shout out my Franklin squad. You know, I had 30 touchdowns that year. Won MVP, and I was one of the most lethal football players, you know, in Stockton at that time. Yeah, so, and that you would say, oh, you were on JV. No, they tried to move me up to varsity. My uncle didn't let them. I ended up getting to the coach. I'm not gonna say his name. You know, getting to the coach. And he ended up failing me in one of my classes. Or did he not fail me? I think he failed me. Or no, he gave me a D in one of my classes, and you would think like, he's the coach for the school. Like, why would you give one of the star players a D? That doesn't even make sense, especially in Stockton. I'm gonna throw y'all under the bus. A lot of y'all teachers be coaches, so y'all be making sure we get A's and stuff. Nah, I'm just playing. I don't have CIF. I don't have CIF coming after me. But yeah, so or coaches coming after me too. They be like, well, why you give us the game? Nah, I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, so that was that. Yeah, so I ended up transferring to Chavez that year, going to a whole new team. You know, I was kind of familiar with a few people, but I didn't really know too many people like that. And then, you know, they actually had a couple players transfer out and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it was just like a lot going on. But my uncle was able to get me in over there, and I was able to, you know, get situated in that summer, you know, get some summer ball playing, meeting a few new people, and then they best players and stuff like that. And then, you know, like I said, my junior year, I ended up, I was first team all conference, you know. I think I had like 60-some tackles. I damn near led the team in picks. I really did, but a lot of that stuff didn't get on camera because this was prior to huddle. And I made a lot of like big plays and stuff like that on, you know, I'm on a couple other people highlights and stuff, making big plays and stuff like that. I don't recall having game film from my junior year, but like I said, I pretty much balled out. I started off as a safety that year. I was a safety, and then I think I ended up moving a linebacker halfway through the year after some injuries and stuff took place. And like I said, I was able to get all conference at linebacker, which was crazy to me because I started the year at corner. I was a corner, then a safety. After some injuries and we had to move some stuff around, then I became a linebacker. So I was able to play 3 different positions in 1 year, you know what I mean? That's how I was getting picks and stuff, and tackles and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was that. And then that off season, this is a lot of the reason why I failed to conquer gaining more speed is because I never ran track, and I'm gonna tell y'all that now. Like, I didn't run track, and it could have been like form. It could have been like, even if I would have said, even if people say if track don't make you faster, like at least I didn't give myself an opportunity. I didn't learn how to run correctly. You know what I mean? Like I never learned to straight away run, you know, things like that. So I was always fast, like quick, like. See, it's a difference between being fast and a difference between being quick. I always had quick reflexes. I was always quick on my feet. I was always the fastest to the ball, the first one on the tackle, things like that. But that was all because of instincts and things like that. It was never because I was as fast. It was just because I had lightning quick reflexes. You know, I was able to sideline to side. People say sideline to sideline speed. I had a lot of sideline to sideline speed, which I agree, as well as game speed. You know what I mean? Like you got some people that could be great combine people, but you get on the field and they look slower than what they run. And like, I thought he ran a 4.3 at the combine, but he's getting burnt by somebody that run a 4.5 because they not game speed. They not have that game instincts, like I do. Especially being smart too. On top of that, I had a knowledge for the game. I really study film. I really like game plan. I really like understood players. I'll go and watch this guy is their best player. I'll go back and watch his highlights and prior years and things like I did things that was like NFL elite, but like I said, I just didn't have the talent for the NFL, and that's all that came down to. And that mainly was just speed, because I guarantee if you put me on the field, even now that I'm retired and rusty, I can guarantee you I can still play with the best of them. That's guaranteed. Also, being a big hitter always played a big part too. I had some of the biggest hits, man. They used to call me, Ronnie Lott. And some of the young cats don't even know who Ronnie Lott is, But I was like some of my uncles and all my OGs used to call me, Ray Lewis, things like that. But yeah, so, that was that. Transferred to Chavez, that took place in my senior year. Another year, balling out, leading in tackles. Every week I was leading in every defensive category on my team and things like that. And I ended up breaking my ankle against Lincoln High School, a game where I broke my ankle and scored a touchdown all in on the same play. And people were like, dang, how they always say that line, like, go out every play like it's your last. Like, that was really my last ever football play. I scored a touchdown and broke my ankle. So, yeah, I went out with a bang. Literally, like, touchdown, broken ankle, everybody celebrating, wondering, like, damn, why he not getting up? And, I still remember that moment to this day. Like, I was just like, damn, that's how I went out in high school. Like, it was sad, but then it was like, damn, I did do the craziest shit ever. But it was like, damn, it was still sad. So yeah, I was pretty much then that put me in crutches for like 4 or 5 months. That put me in crutches for like 4 or 5 months of high school, like formal dances, missed all that stuff, I didn't even want to do nothing. So I think I didn't heal up officially till about I want to say February, March. I got out of crutches, and I was in crutches in October, like the beginning of October, and I got out of crutches end of February. So how many ever months that is? Yeah. So yeah. So I pretty much was like, damn, I pretty much was done with football at that time. Like, my leg was skinny, ankle. I never had a serious injury before, So I'm like, damn, like, leg was all skinny and stuff. I remember getting out the boot, it stunk so bad. You know how that is. But yeah, so that's how that took place. And then I ended up just started playing basketball just to get back in shape a little bit, just hanging out. I wasn't doing too much of nothing, it was the end of my senior year, so I was pretty much chilling at that time. And then I ended up getting a letter in the mail that was giving me a all-star invite to play at the Lions all-star game, which was an all-star game that a lot of Stockton people that was good would get, and they would all go there and play. And I seen some of the games from the prior years. I'm like, dang, I got the offer, and I was like, dang, this is crazy. Like, but it's crazy because my prom was coming up, and I just had the day of the orientation or dinner or whatever for the game was the same day as the prom. So it was like, I was like, dang, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So I told my prom date about it and all that, and her folks were like, oh no, that's fine, So still to this day in the newspaper, they got me in the newspaper like, such and such Leandre Fisher, he brought his prom date to the dinner. It was just like crazy. And they actually have that in paper on the internet right now. So yeah, that was that. So I ended up getting back into football shape, training again, things like that. Then I ended up getting a couple I had a couple small offers at high school, but I didn't want to pick those schools that came to me because I was like at that point like, oh, I gotta go D1, I gotta go D1. In high school, my senior year, I was like, dang, everybody looking at me. Just how everybody this happens to a lot of like the good athletes is we don't want to play for our junior college team, which was Delta College at the time for me. Just like any other player, like they don't want to play at home or they don't want to do that. So yeah, I was like, I didn't want to play at Delta College. So I don't care if I went to a JUCO somewhere else. I just didn't want to play home to where everybody can feel like everybody gonna laugh at us. And that's the thing, like in life, like that we deal with is, especially like I don't know about other cultures, but I know the black culture, we always like put each other down. Like, and it's just sad, but it's true. Like high school, you can't wear that shirt because you know you're gonna get roasted, you know you're gonna get laughed at. You can't wear a certain haircut because you're gonna get laughed at. You can't do this, you know what I mean? Versus anybody else, any other race. I don't know, like I said, I don't know exactly, but I know that they can wear what they wanna wear. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I got friends of all races, all colors, you know what I mean? Like, so I got a couple, a couple of my white boyfriends, right? They could wear Vans and all these crazy shoes and they could be dirty or whatever, you know what I mean? And I don't tell them nothing. I don't look at them nothing. It's just shoes are shoes to me. But I guarantee if I was to wear those shoes and go to school, people, look at he got all this dirty ass Van. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird, you know? Like, it's just weird. I'll never understand it, but that's how we have to live our lives, especially being in certain areas and stuff like that. Like, you can't do certain stuff. And it's like, because you fear humiliation, you know, is a big thing, you know, like where I come from. Like, people always laughing, people always joking. You gotta be able to take it, you gotta be able to take the heat and throw it back at them, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, because of that, we can never just truly be ourselves, you know what I mean? You can never just truly be yourself. And nowadays, it's got to the point to where now, when you're an adult, you can be yourself, but you can't do it home where the heart is. You gotta go somewhere else. You gotta go to a different state, go somewhere else. And I had a talk to my cousin about this too. Like, I could say I worked in Texas and I was working at a McDonald's. Nobody would even care. Nobody would even notice. Nobody wouldn't say two words to me. You know what I mean? I could just be out there, you know, I don't have no kids or nothing. So I could be in Texas and working at McDonald's and nobody even care. Like, I could work my way up to the top, be a manager, supervisor, whatever at McDonald's. And as long as I'm treating people with respect, that's all people gonna treat me with respect and dignity and care. But if I was to work in Stockton, per se, at McDonald's, people going, look at Cuddy, the driveway. Oh, look, bro, right here, let me record it. Like, it's true, though. It's fucked up, but it's true. Like, that's just how we live our life, you know? And, you know, it is what it is, you know, but that's what I'm trying to say, like, to sum it all up about that. But yeah, so just back to what I was saying. So yeah, I ended up going to American River College, played there the summer there, but they got a lot of politics. They didn't like Stockton people. I don't know, they didn't like Stockton players for some reason. And I was behind a couple good players, you know, out of Grant High School that ended up not even playing, and I ended up leaving anyways. It wasn't because of competition. I just didn't like that DB coach because I went for safety, and I didn't like that DB coach that was there. And he, like I said, it seemed like he had a thing against Stockton people. And I actually heard that same thing too at Delta College in Stockton versus people from other areas too, not just Sac, but others too, like other cities too, like. And I don't know because, like I said, if that was true or not. But like I said, I know in my opinion, that actually did happen. So yeah, so that was that. Yeah, so then I ended up transferring again I stayed local, stayed in Sacramento to Sac City. Went to Sac City for like a week or two, and I trained there a couple of practices, and then I was like, you know, met some people there and stuff like that. But I was like, man, this ain't. I feel like they was like not good. Dude, let me just be honest, they wasn't good. I didn't feel like they was a good fit for me. Not they were good. I don't know. I never kept up with if they were good or not that year. It just wasn't a good fit for me. I actually should go back and double check and see how their record went that 2013 year, because they had a lot of people that was talking a good game, but wasn't even all that. So yeah, I'm gonna actually go do some research on that. But yeah, so I ended up doing that, and I originally was getting recruited to Delta from high school, like towards the end of my year. Coach Michael Spear, ended up coming to my All-Star game, talking to me, and the whole shebang. So I always kept his contact number with me. So when I left Sac City, but I told him I was moving, I wasn't going to come to Delta. He respected it because I had went to Delta recruiting day with me and another good player too, named Naeem McGee at St. Mary's. That year we graduated the same year. I feel like we was like the 1-2 punch in the city as far as defensively, two of the best players. Which he ended up going. I think he ended up going D1, or I think he ended up going JUCO first, and then ended up going D1. I haven't talked to him or anything like that. I don't even think I got him on social media or nothing. I didn't really keep up with him, but I ended up met his folks. His folks met my folks and stuff like that the recruiting day. But I think he ended up going to San Diego State or something like that. So then moving forward, that's what I was saying is I ended up going back to Delta, and then Delta I met I met everybody at Delta. That's where that was my home, so I knew a lot of people that was already on the team the previous year. And the previous year, we came in to a year where they think they had won a bowl game. They had a lot of great talent, I think they had like 25 to 30 people leave on scholarships that year before, so their team was kind of like starting fresh and they needed fresh spaces, and I was one of the ones to come in and step in, but we had a lot of big shoes to fill going into my first year at Delta. And it was rough. We had a rough year. I think we won a couple of games, but we had a superstar on our team, Theo Wolford, at running back. He ended up leading the state, rushing yards, all touchdowns, all types of stuff. I think he ended up going to a school. I don't want to get on here lying. I think he ended up going to D2. I don't know what happened. Like I said, he was one of the best players I ever seen at running back. For sure. I don't know why he didn't go D1. I'm not going to enter that conversation. Just know he had more than D1 talent. He had NFL talent. And that's all that matters. Like I said, I don't care about the school or nothing like that. He was a talented player. And, he helped us win those couple games. Without him, we wouldn't even win no game. I'm just be honest. But, he was one of the talents on our team. And he actually played the year before that, splitting carries with Damari Nelson too. Damari was one of the household names that, coming in. They always talked about. It was a lot of them, I looked up to my boy Kenny Haynes, he's one of my mentors coming because he came out of Chavez, and I always thought he was one of the best Chavez players. Damari played at Chavez too. We had talent coming out of Chavez. People be sleep on Chavez. We was them boys. Yeah, Richard Black, Deshaun Perkins, my guys. Man, we had some boys. That's all that mattered. So my freshman year, I ended up balling out. I ended up coming like second or third in tackles, tied with Damian Bell White, my guy, another dog, safety. Hard hitting. Long, athletic. We used to do our thing together. We was like the combo, So that was my freshman year. And then my sophomore year. So crazy story. My sophomore year, my freshman year, I was getting some D1 looks. I ended up having a coach from UTSA, Texas San Antonio, had followed me on Twitter, and I remember that day I had ran to my coach's office like, Coach, look, this guy followed me on Twitter. He looked him up. Oh, that's one of the recruiters for them. I thought I made it. That was my D1 initiative. I thought I made it at that point. Man, next thing you know, I must have failed a class or something like that. My GPA wasn't even all that. I think I had like a 2.8 or something like that. Coach was like, you're not going. He didn't say I couldn't go D1. He just like, you ain't. You got to work on you got to handle your business. Like, that's the thing with being an adult and being in the industry for football and being, a JUCO. It's a grind. You can't stop that grind. You got to really grind it out. You got to really make it happen. you know, for real, because nobody's gonna wake you up. See, the thing in high school, you might have your parents wake you up. Even though I didn't have that, you might have had people waking you up. In college, that's why you got dorms and stuff. You ain't up. And if you ain't got a good relationship with your roommate or dorm mate, whatever, and they don't wake you, you're on your own, because half the time they focus on them and y'all probably might not even have the same class. So you on your own, you got to do your thing. If you got to walk to practice, you got to walk to practice. You got to catch the bus, whatever you got to do to get there, buy a little bucket, whatever you got to do, you got to get to practice. You got to make it happen. So yeah, and not just practice, we talking school as well. Like if you got class at 8 o'clock, you need to be in class at 7:55. And if they ain't there yet, you need to be at that door waiting in 5 minutes. So yeah, I ended up made some bad mistakes, you know what I mean? I ended up, after I got that GPA low, I think it was lower than that. I'm not even gonna say 2 point. I think it was lower than that. And I just felt discouraged. I ended up, this is where I messed my whole college career up. I ended up leaving, taking the first scholarship I got to some random ass school in Oklahoma. I wanted to go with my boy because he was going. I was like, man, fuck it, I'll go with you, bro. Whoop. Like, if I don't like it, I'll just come back. So I ended up going out there. I was out there for a week. I was like, nah, I'm coming back. I'm not finna deal with that. That school's trash, small, one block. Like, I'm cool. So I ended up leaving there. He ended up leaving there too. And I ended up coming back home. But that's where I messed up my college career, and I'm gonna talk about that later. So I ended up coming back right in time for the first day of the spring practice back at Delta that year, going into my sophomore year. And because it was like, oh, you back? Huh? I'm like, yeah. Well, come on in. You know, they always accepted me open arms, you know what I mean? Like, I always made stupid mistakes, and they always stayed there for me. You know, I really respect them. That was Coach Murray and Coach Barlow. Coach Barlow gave me a lot of chances, definitely gave me a lot of chances. But it's like once I was done and did my 2 years, he was like, yeah, I ain't dealing with you no more. Whatever you do is on you, you know what I mean? I love you, but yeah, you on your own at this point. Coach Murray kind of still stayed there for me, even after I was done playing. Anytime I bring him some news or something like that, he'll help me out no matter what. You know, I always show love to all the coaches. Coach H, Coach everybody that was there, you know, everybody that was there, Coach Spear. Like I said, if it wasn't for Spear, I wouldn't even been there. Yeah, so that was my Delta staff. So yeah, my sophomore year, I ended up giving back spring, balling out, getting ready for summer. Summer, I was told, damn, I needed some units to play in the fall, so I had to miss out. And this is where I think I got hurt at, because I didn't work out how I needed to work out in the summertime, and that's what, like, my body, I don't know what happened, whatever, but I ended up getting hurt. I ended up hyperextending my knee in the season, early in the season, I think about the 4th game, and that messed me up the rest of my sophomore year. And I was actually leading in tackles and all types of stuff at that point, 4 games in. So yeah, in the summer I ended up getting my grades up and stuff like that, and then, like I said, ended up balling out the first 4 games of the season, sacks, all types of stuff. I was, you know what I mean, first game I think I had 11 tackles, couple sacks. It was just like, I was a nightmare on defense, and then first game, and then hyperextended my knee, and it was all bad from there. I don't even know how I was still playing. Like, I was still playing a little bit, you know, and I don't know why, whatever. I should have just took the rest of it, healed up, and that was that. So yeah, that was my sophomore year. That's how that went. I don't even remember my stats, you know what I mean? After having a great first year, getting some looks and stuff like that, leaving, messing up grades, those things messed my career up, you know, and then coming back after getting my grades up, balling, and then getting hurt, set me back even more. So then now I'm trying to fight to get a Division I scholarship, and, you know, I ain't even got the Division I, you know, tools, because I'm hurt and stuff now. So I had to get back grinding and stuff like that, which I did. So I ended up staying, I did those 2 years, ended up staying another year, trying to get my AA, which I never got my AA still to this day. A lot of people don't know that, but I had so many units I was able to transfer, and that's how I was able to transfer schools. Yeah, that's how I was able to transfer schools. And it's crazy because they had just made the rule like you didn't need your AA to go D2. Like a year or two before I played, like I swear, a year or two before I played, you didn't even need an AA. A lot of those players was dumb. I'm not gonna say dumb. A lot of those players didn't have the grades and degree to transfer. But it's like, damn, as soon as I got there, shit changed. You know what I mean? You could correct me the year, but I for sure they changed it because a lot of people was going D2 before my year, 2013 graduation. But you did need your AA to go do D1 for sure, unless you was a qualifier or whatever. That was the only reason he was a qualifier, which I was up on game. Thank you to Coach Randy Gaines. He gave me a lot of knowledge. I used to love going to talk to him. I used to always listen to everything he said. I used to take notes and things like that. Anytime he talk about all the units and transferable classes, AA, anything it had to do with it, he gave me so much knowledge in that department with the schools aspects of it and transfer aspects. Of me and my boy, we used to always like talk about it, break stuff down. We used to know what classes we needed to take without even having to go to the counselors. You know what I mean? Even though he was our counselor, he gave us the game so good, we didn't even need him no more to go get classes. You know what I mean? We still needed him, but not to go get classes. We already knew what class we needed to take. And that was the great thing about that. So I ended up staying another year at Delta, never got my AA, ended up coming last second. I had a partner go to the school in Iowa, William Penn University, and I just said, it was just coming down. I had another partner, he had ended up going there, committed, and then it was just a couple of us left, and we just like, dang, I'm either gonna do this, I'm gonna either take this last scholarship that I got and try to go and just make it happen, thug it out, whatever, make it happen. Or I was telling my partner, like, or now I'm just gonna stay here and just graduate and just walk on to a D1 school, which it was like, damn, you know what I mean? That's where I came to. So I was like, should I just take this scholarship? Or which I ended up just saying, do I really want to stay at Delta? Feel like I've been here forever. Like them 2.5 years felt like forever. I said, fuck it. I'm gonna just take this scholarship, you know what I mean? Cause I feel like people was giving up on me and stuff like that too. I was going through some stuff. So I said, fuck it, let me just go ahead and get away. So I ended up taking that William Penn University in Iowa offer, and we ended up taking off 2016, January 2016, I believe. So I ended up going there. You know, now we start a whole new life, whole new world in Iowa, whole different culture, whole different everything. End up going to a small city, culture shock automatically right off the back. Small city, small farm towns around. Very nice people. Everybody was loving there on campus. It was cool. Like, I had no issues. It was just boring. Y'all laughing at me like, no, it was boring. Like, literally, like, I'm talking like nothing to do but drive around, go to eat, go to Walmart, try to talk to girls, whatever. Like, that was it. Like, work out, eat, sleep, work out, go to school, eat, sleep, work out, go to school, eat, sleep. Like, in that order. And that's how William Penn was. So I used to, like, just have to travel a lot. Like, we used to go city to city, trying to go party, trying to go hang out, things like that, because we couldn't stay in that city that long. We'd get our job done. I do my homework and stuff, but I'm trying to go hang out. We getting in traffic. Like, we not staying there. If you know me, you know, like, we was not staying there. So I ended up doing that, going there. I had a great spring coming in. A lot of people thought I was trash because I didn't have no current film and stuff like that. So the people I went out there with, they're like, dang, y'all pretty good. They act like I was just trash or something. Like, man, I don't know. People should act. I really had people acting like, you good? I was like, damn. Like, I was like, nah, I'm just cool. I'm cool. I'm all right. You know what I mean? So then that spring came, and they like, damn, he actually be, you know what I mean? He be on his shit. Like, so then that spring game, I swear I was like defensive player of the game type shit. I had a couple turnovers, hella tackles and stuff like that. You know, got me a lot of recognition and stuff like that. So going into the season, I was mentioned on my coach had mentioned me, and I was the newcomer of the year going into the season. It's like, damn, I started off as a nobody, and it's like, damn, after a month. And that summer I was trained, I stayed there. Like a lot of people I see used to leave and stuff like that. I ended up staying my first summer here. Like, no, I'm not going back home. I'm staying. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm here. I'm trying to get to the league. Like, so I ended up staying that summer, grinding it out every day, working hard, grinding, with the whole 9 yards. So like I said, that got me a lot of recognition going into the season. Also made me a starter going into the season as well. But yeah, I ended up, so my first game, I had some paperwork issues going on, and they ended up saying that I was, I didn't have a transcript from that school that I had left to. Now I'm gonna take you back. This is why I said it messed me up. So when that school that I had left to Oklahoma, they ended up holding my transcript for like 3 bands, and at the time I was broke. I could tell you now, I didn't have no money. I was still in school. I wasn't working or nothing. Like, I didn't have no money besides the little work study money that we was getting, out there. And let me tell you something, out there in Iowa, minimum wage was $7 at the time. My first ever job, I started off at $11 something, and that's when I was working at Delta. I got my first job at Delta for like $11 something, doing some janitorial type stuff, whatever. But yeah, so $7 to try to get 3,000 working full-time classes, going to practice and stuff. I'm not gonna have no time to make that money. So I was stuck. And after figuring all the paperwork stuff out, they said I need to pay that to get the official transcript, even though I didn't have a transcript with nothing on it. But they said because I dropped those classes and I went to school that's what it was. I went to school those first 3 days of school before I left. Like I said, I was only out there for like a week, but I went to class those 3 days or whatever, those first few days, and that's what made me have, I don't know, you could correct me, whatever it is, an N, an S, whatever the drop is, but that made me have a transcript for them, even though I didn't have no grades on it. I don't know, whatever it is, I don't know if it was NA on it, like whatever it is, it made me that happen. So that was that, and I ended up having to miss that whole year. I was hot. I worked so hard for it. I used to cry. I cried to myself a lot about that stuff. I didn't cry to nobody. I cried a lot about myself about that. I had so much time on my hand. That's when I actually made the Tastic name, too. But I was still working out. I was still doing everything, still going to practice, everything. I was doing everything. I've always did everything as if I was playing. I just didn't actually go play, if that makes sense. Like, I was helping people out on the sidelines, doing home games, away games. I was still doing, they didn't let me travel on away games. It was what it was, but I was doing everything else, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't travel with them. But, yeah, so that was that. Then, like I said, that's when I created Tastic in 2016. I had a lot of time on my hands to do some stuff. I just wanted to show something that represented me, and that's what Tastic did for me. Like, tenacious and seriously tough in competition. That's what Tastic means. If you don't know, now you know. It just gave me something to do, gave me something to believe in, gave me something to represent me, something that's always working hard. That's all it means is just I'm always in competition. It don't matter what it is, I'm always in competition. It could be just drinking water. Like, I want to be able to drink the water the most, the fastest, the longest, however, like, be underwater the longest, it could be sports related. I want to be able to outshoot Stephen Curry, like, whatever it is, it's just competition, good or bad. I don't know if it's good or bad, but that just always meant competition to me. And I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm always in competition with myself. It doesn't have nothing to do with nobody else. But if we competing at something, I want to be the best competitor at that, so... yeah, that's all that was. That's what Tastic means. If you don't know, now you know. Dre stands for my name. Just, it's not my name, but it's from the root word fan. Drop the word fan and add my name, nickname Dre, to it. So that's how it became Dre Tastic. So now you know the background on that. Yeah, it just meant work hard at everything you do. That's pretty much all it sums up to. So yeah, I ended up, that year, I ended up losing out on that year. I ended up going back home that next summer. Now I'm missing out on working out and stuff because I got to go home. I ended up getting a job working at, I think, Tesla. to work and make those 3 bands, and we was only paying like 14, 15 an hour, so it took me some while to get it. You know what I mean? And I had to commute and stuff. I didn't have a car. I had to borrow cars, buy rentals, all types of stuff I had to do back then just to make that money. You know, and it was hard, you know, and I only had, I was on a time limit to get it. So once I ended up getting the money, getting the transcript, all that stuff. So then that next year, fall come finally, you know, this is 2018. So more bad news come halfway, first thing first, right before the first game, like I said, you seen what happened the first year around. I'm in year 2 there, you know, I'm like, I still got my years left, you know, the whole shebang. I'm juiced, I'm hyped, I'm jumped up, had a good fall training. Like I said, I missed out on summer because to get the money, but I'm back now, I'm back in action. It's fall, got through my condition, 2-a-days, all that stuff, you know, it's time to go. Sure enough, here comes more BS. I get hurt the week of the first week before the game. On one of our last like practices, and I'm like, wow, knee get blown out. MCL. It wasn't the ACL or nothing. It was the MCL, whichever one is the tear, just the little tear. It wasn't the big one. It was just the tear in my knee. So my knee got an MCL, whatever it's called, sprain. You know, and yeah, so that sidelined me for. So the lady, my trainer at the time, she said I could potentially be out like half the year for sure. Now, if I can come back, if I really, really work hard, then I can come back in, you know, 4 or 5 games, you know. So it made me sad again. Like now I'm back crying again, you know what I mean? Like now I'm missing more games and stuff. I'm just like, damn, I just can't freaking win. Like y'all don't understand like how much I dealt with, like everything that I went through, like hurt sophomore year. I had my only full season was my freshman year. Sophomore year hurt, red shirt sophomore year. I had got hurt again. I didn't mention that, but that summertime I had broke my hand. Like I forgot to mention that about, you know, I'm talking about my life. I forgot to mention that. But that red shirt year before I left to Iowa, I had broke my hand that summer training because I was still training. I had broke my hand. One of the worst hand injuries ever. We was doing some one-on-ones and I had just failed awkwardly on it. But yeah, that was that. And then, like I said, so going back to where I was, like I ended up training, working my ass off on my knee, everything that was said to me. And the 5th game came and I was finally back. You know, I ended up getting my spot back. They said, you know, I ended up splitting. Like, we was just going to split reps, you know, get you back, you know, situated into it, but we going to start you. So I'm finally getting my first start, and I don't know how long. I was so juiced and happy. I ain't going to lie, I started crying. My head coach was like, man, we don't got time for that. Like, I'm like, man, y'all understand, like, I'm not an emotional person, but when I have to go through stuff and sacrifice and stuff, then I can't be emotional. Like I don't just cry. I don't even show tears. But it's just the fact that when you work so hard for something and something get taken from you, that shit beats you down. It don't make you cry, but it beats you down. But when you work back hard to get it back, you feel so much joy, and it be like tears of joy sometimes, you know. And that's just how that was. So I ended up getting my first start, and then like a couple games had gone by. We were on a win streak, and some people say, because at the time we had a quarterback named Tyler Wood, we both had started, I swear, we both started playing at the same time, so they didn't know who was the good luck charm. Like, you could, I was always a good luck charm, don't tell them that. But yeah, we both had, I remember like it was yesterday, we both started playing, and we had went on a win streak. And I think up until that point, we were like 0-3. We were 0-3. I came back. I think we had a bye week or something. That's what made me come back that 4th game. But I don't remember exactly. But I think our season was 11 games. I missed the first 3 in a bye week. So then I came back that 4th game, and we went on a 4-game win streak. And they was like, "Damn, we don't know who who's the lucky charm, you or him." Like we used to just joke around. Yeah. But yeah, so then a couple games end up going by. I'm back, into the game and stuff like that. I'm holding down my side. You know what I mean? I was holding it down. And then what happened? I ended up getting some paperwork that that I'm out of my semesters. Like, what the heck? Like, I told my coach, like, hey, it's saying that I'm out of semesters or something like that on my year. Like, I can't play next year. That's weird because I haven't played all my years. Like, what the heck? So they was like, oh, don't worry about that. It's just some BS or whatever. And then I told the lady, whoever I need to talk to at the school about that does the semester and stuff. She like, oh, no, you good. Told my head coach, they like, oh, yeah, you good. So, man, I ain't gonna think nothing of it. So my coach had called me randomly, like, this was like a couple days later, had called me on some random stuff to his office, and I'm like, oh, I'm on my way, I'm thinking it's something, normal day, regular day. So he come to me, he like, yeah, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, what's up, coach? He like, so yeah, we were actually right about it, you know what I mean, about the semester thing. Like, you don't have no more semesters. Like, I'm like, what you mean? Like, he like, yeah, I guess when you went to that school in Oklahoma and you stepped foot in that classroom, that counted as a semester. I'm like, what you mean how did that count as a semester? I wasn't even there, you know what I mean? I went to class, but that was it. So then what happened is, it was a 2-for-1. And then I'm breaking it down to you, like, which is so janky. Like, this is how college football comes down to. It's so freaking janky. Like, this is why I'm satisfied with everything that happened, because it teaches you so much game, in the end. So basically, when I left there and went to Delta that semester I just wasted 2 semesters in one. At this point where I'm at in my time now, from counting my semesters, I'm thinking that I got one more semester. So what I would have to do was, after playing that season, I would have to part-time classes in the spring, make sure I got all my units so I could play the next year, whatever. Part-time in the spring, and then come back in the fall if I need to get some extra units. Part-time in the summer to do that too, to make sure I'm good, and then start my full-time clock again that next season to as my 10th semester. But instead, this year, that's technically like my junior year, my semesters is blown. And this is my 10th semester here. So, and I was just hurt this year, half the year, whatever. So now, it came down to now, you're playing your final 7 games of the year, ever in college, never to play again at no level. D1 time been gone, D2 time, semesters 2, all the same. Never. I tried to, can I play D3? Like, I got desperate at that point. So it just came to a point like, nah, that's that, so yeah, so that's what happened with that. I must have just failed. I failed, like, and he kind of like caught me, and I was just like, man, more crying again. Like, I was just hurt, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it was more so hurt because it's like I was letting myself down for all the things that I did in the past, you know what I mean? It's like it came back to in the future and like got me, you know what I mean? So that's what that is, and then shout out to them, they stayed with me, kept me in spirit, try to keep me going and stuff like that. I was Coach Norberg, and Coach Half, you know what I mean? And just like, damn, I wish I could have like really showed them my true talent, you know what I mean? I feel like I didn't get enough time to show them my true talent, and then I'm hurt at this point. Yeah, remember, like, I'm coming back off of injury, so I'm not even in full go, so I'm really not even the same person who I was anyways. I still made some plays and still did some stuff, but I wasn't the same as I was, and that's what I'm trying to say. So I never got to fully show who I really was on the field, and that's just where I humped myself from college, same as high school. I didn't get to finish my senior year, and the year that I was having my best year at, it just fucked up, like how my career went. A lot of people don't live to talk about it or don't want to talk about it. Me, I don't mind expressing that because now I know what to do. If anybody ever need help, or anybody, if I have my own children, I'm gonna make sure everything happens. They don't have to play football, but I'm gonna make sure they know the game and know everything about it. That's just what this video comes down to right here. So yeah, that was that, and like I said, I was still hurt, and it'll eat me not so much now, but you know, it is what it is. You know, like I said, I learn to get over it, and you know, don't think about it too much. So yeah, that's what that. So I ended up finishing that season. Like I said, I just kind of like embraced that season, took it for what it was. You know, enjoyed the last moments of it. You know, they started calling me a senior, so I started rolling with it. And that's how I finished that. And that's why I said after that season, I was able to at least gain enough film and stuff like that to get into the All-Star games. And that's where I told you I got into the All-Star games. I had the pro offers, somehow still got a pro offer, you know, film and stuff like that, in my All-Star game film and stuff. And then that's ended up graduating. And then I ended up staying one more year, half a year there. That next year, football season that I was really supposed to have been playing, I ended up staying to coach. And I was just like a little assistant coach, linebackers coach, kind of learned coaching aspects of football. I didn't really like the coaching like that. Like, it was cool, but I think it was more so they made it uncomfortable because I used to play there. So when you somewhere used to play with all the people that used to like do bad shit with, go to parties and do all this type of shit with, drink and shit with, you know what I mean? It's like, they not gonna look at you like a coach versus somebody new coming there and like, oh damn, he's a coach. Like, nah, me, I'm just Tastic. Like, I'm just a normal person, like, to them. So they didn't look at me as a coach. The younger people, freshmen and stuff, did, you know, so I kind of like kept a good like space on who I was for them. But outside of that, nah, I was just regular old me. Learning the game, learning coaching techniques, learning the game and stuff like that. So I ended up taking that and running with that. And then I ended up moving from there, coming back home, and then it's like, damn, now reality starts. And here I am now, on video with you guys. And yeah, this is where I am now, security guard. So a little bit about when I came back, before I retired. I did a couple tryouts. I went to a couple CFL tryouts last year. The last tryout I did was I went to go try out for the Oakland Panthers. Marshawn Lynch was starting a team in Oakland, indoor team. I feel like I could play indoor right now, but you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't want to. And then you got a lot of people that, like I said, I'm still in shape. I'm still in football shape. My mind ain't went nowhere. I feel like the only thing probably downgraded is my quick reflexes a little bit. I can tell because I just went to the beach and got some beach ladder work and stuff like that. So my quick twitch ain't all the way there, but I can still play. Not saying I'm playing, I'm done, like I said, but I'm just kind of giving you an update on where I'm at. But at this weight, I feel like I'd be even more dangerous. That's probably why I don't got that quick twitch flitch either, because I'm at a way higher weight too. So maybe that could be it too. But yeah, so like I said, I did my last tryout was at Marshawn Lynch. I ended up didn't making the team, none of those tryouts, those pro tryouts, but it was just for the exposure, getting to play against some people, meet some new people, meeting some coaches and things like that. You know, it was what it was, and you know, I embraced the time I had, you know, playing sports, and then now I'm just trying to focus on how do you get rich, you know, and there's a lot of things you can do. You can go hit the lotto or something. I'm still waiting on. I've never played the lotto before. I feel like when I play, I'm gonna get rich. So I've been waiting on that until I'm just like really, really ready to go play the lotto. But then a lot of things is like credit. I'm building my credit process. You know, if I can get people to work with people on credit, get my money up from credit and stuff like that, I can make it happen. You know, for sure. And then the last way they say, I see a lot of videos online where people talk to these rich people and they be like, oh, well, if I didn't have no money in my pocket, I would do real estate. I haven't fully got into the real estate game, but I do respect it. I got a cousin that I talk to every day. My cousin Steph, he give me a lot of the game on that. He trying to really get his gold vision estate business out there. You know, he bought his first house last year. You know, really proud of him for doing that and trying to get his second one. You know what I mean? Just trying to make moves. Everybody just trying to make moves for their family, and that's just what it comes down to now. And that's where I'm at now, just trying to make moves for myself. I'm gonna be 28 this year. I don't have any children. You know, I got a ride or die, Jaquisha. Been there from the start. You know, my mom, you know, everybody. everybody that just been there for me, you know what I mean? Like, just supporting me, you know what I mean, every way possible. You know, like, we just, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, where I want to go, and things like that. And I feel like the time is now. You know, it's 2022. We got to make big moves and do big things. You know, you got to take that gamble, take that risk, you know, and that's just what it all comes down to, you know, for real, for real. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything with me. So yeah, I appreciate y'all if you stayed and listened to this whole video, because, you know, I'm talking about some real stuff that took place. But I appreciate y'all in advance, and thank you for watching. Over and out.